It's amazing how one act of kindness by a complete stranger has changed our lives forever. I'm Emily Robinette. My husband is Shane, and then we have a 3-year-old little boy named Weston. As a baby, Weston, he was perfect. Every parent will say that, but he was perfect. You know, he was healthy, happy little boy, and everything was, smooth sailing until we hit 7 months. And that's where everything just kind of collapsed in on itself. We had gone up to see family in Iowa, and we were driving actually back home, and he started throwing up. Over the course of the next 13 days, he had a fever between 101 to 103. His pediatrician kept on saying, oh, it's just a virus, it's nothing, it'll work itself out. So we took him home, we did what they asked us to, medication-wise, and he was still having fevers. He was in so much pain, and they go, you need to take him to the urgent care or an ER. Some of his blood work came back, and he has some abnormal blood counts. She goes, specifically white blood counts. I immediately knew when she said white blood counts what we were talking about, that it was cancer. She goes, yeah, leukemia, acute myeloid leukemia. It was a matter of he might get to the next week. It could be days. It could go that fast. Weston went through 4 rounds of chemo total there at the beginning, and he never got in remission. We got close. So he had to go to bone marrow transplant. We celebrated his first birthday in the hospital. We stayed in the hospital for about a month after that. We were home for a weekend before we had to go back inpatient. He relapsed. It's really bad news. Our hospital here in Kansas City doesn't have the treatment options. And as far as chemos go, we are down to the bottom of the barrel. Honestly, with the quality of life, we don't think it would be there, and we would suggest you taking him home and making memories with him and stopping treatment. That was really, really, really hard to hear. I told him, I go, Weston's still here. He's still a happy little boy. I want to make sure that we give him every chance that we can. I was searching for anything. I was like, okay, what trials are out there? And I just kept on getting, nope, he's not eligible for any trials. Nope, we don't have anything else. We're out of options. On Facebook, there are these pediatric cancer support groups for moms and dads. And I started posting out there, here's the situation with our kid. Like, after the salvage chemo, we can't try another salvage chemo. We are literally searching for a Hail Mary here.
I'm Kelly Pimmel. I live in St. Louis, and I live here with my husband, Joe, and my 3 kids, Molly, Tessa, and Charlie. Jack was our second son and was really healthy when he was born, but when he was 2 weeks old, he started showing some symptoms. Jack was diagnosed with infant leukemia and AML. Infant leukemia is very rare, but AML-M7 is rare of the rare. He was just a really little guy and really sick and got sick really fast, and he actually passed away when he was 7.5 weeks old. When you've gone through losing a child, you just want to save anyone else from having that heartbreak. I got involved with the Children's Board right after our son Jack passed away. The Friends Tea is a large event that the Friends Board hosts. That they always have one key speaker who talks about their work and their cutting-edge research. I was really excited to go to that tea because Dr. Bernarski was actually one of the physicians who treated our son. He was with us in the first days of when our son was being diagnosed and was an incredibly kind person. He was explaining some research that actually would have been really beneficial for him if our son had been born later.
So I was invited to come speak. I talked about how difficult AML was to treat and how we had this promising new approach using the immune system to treat it that was based off of and grew out of research that they had funded as donors, which offers a completely different approach.
I actually started studying natural killer cells, which are these cells of the immune system that are really kind of ready to go. They're kind of these lymphocytes, these white blood cells that we have that are always on guard, watching for viruses, for cancers, for anything kind of strange and out of the ordinary. What I discovered is that natural killer cells can have this property where if you activate them once, they kind of remember that activation, and then they're more ready to go the next time.
What it means is that when an immune cell comes in contact with something it's supposed to kill, the first time it does it, but it does it slowly and less effectively, but it establishes a memory that it saw that. And so the next time it sees the thing it's supposed to kill, it does it faster, better, and more efficiently. And that was what was novel about what Dr. Cooper had found.
I, at the time in the lab, was super excited that I had this basic discovery, but I never envisioned that less than 10 years later, that basic discovery would be taken into patients. And it was really through working with Todd Feniger, who's my husband. And actually, Todd and I met in the lab when we were PhD students.
I think we were traveling to a scientific meeting, and she was kind of, telling me about this, and I was like, wow, this could really have an impact in cancer, not just virus infections. And so we started brainstorming about ways that we could test this in the laboratory to use these memory-like natural killer cells as potential treatment for leukemia.
No chemotherapy, no second transplant, just this one-time infusion of these memory-like NK cells. This would absolutely transform the way that we would approach the treatment of AML.
And my thought was, well, this is brand new. No one knows about this. While Jack was in treatment, some friends had reached out and had let me know about this Facebook group online that was just for parents of infants with leukemia. So it's a very small group of people whose children are all really sick and are kind of facing the same challenges across the country and the world. Because these are parents who always are communicating about, is there anything else out there? Is there anything new? I need to tell these other parents.
That next day when we were in that waiting room, I was scrolling through Facebook, my mom group, and I noticed somebody had tagged me on a post. I'm like, I don't know this person, it's a complete stranger. And she, in her post, was talking about St. Louis and this trial, this new trial that Dr. Bednarski's doing, and then they're looking for participants.
I posted, I'm involved with the Friends Board at St. Louis Children's Hospital.
I was just at lunch where Dr. Jeff Bednarski spoke about his relapsed AML immunotherapy NK cell trial.
It is for all subsets of AML, and the adult trial for this treatment
Had a 70% remission rate at the Associated Adult Hospital.
After I made the post, I went back through other recent posts and found Emily, and she had described Weston and the situation they were in. I thought that they might be candidates, and so I made sure I tagged her in the post.
I go, oh my goodness, finally, I got a lead. To have her tag me, I'm so grateful that she did, because otherwise we wouldn't be where we are today. And I was so anxious to hear back from St. Louis, and Bednarski, he was quick to respond. And he goes, everything you're telling me about his care sounds like he would be a candidate. We took the train to St. Louis. Everything was really fast-tracked with Weston.
So Weston was the very first patient that we enrolled on and treated on this clinical trial.
30 days post, I remember Bednarski coming in and he goes, it's working. It's working for him. It's holding him.
Weston is our super responder. He's a year and a half out and has been in complete remission with no evidence of leukemia. To be able to see a kid who had basically zero chance of survival before, now alive and thriving and being a normal kid and back to doing normal kid activities, running around, playing with toys, all the kind of things that you want to see normal kids doing. It's absolutely incredible. As a physician and as a physician scientist, that's what you hope for. That's what you dream of.
I don't think that this type of a collaborative translational project could happen many places across the country.
We're the only institution in the country running this clinical trial.
We do everything that we can for the kids. We're able to bring our research, our Washington University community, we're able to take that and translate it into better care for children.
I think that's made such a difference to why we keep traveling back and forth, is because we know that not only is our boy being taken care of medically, there's that great research side there at WashU that is connected with the hospital, and there's all these resources there and a great team of doctors, but you also have the care, the sense of care, and that you can tell that they love your kid. They treat your kid like their own. And as a parent, as a mother, you couldn't ask for more.